Welcome everybody to the IT Power Hour for Teams meetings. Today we're going to discuss Teams meetings. But before I get started, I just want let everyone know that this meeting is recorded. So I will be putting everyone on mute. If you have any questions, please raise your hand or just send me the messages in the chat. I will try my best to answer those as we go along. And then at some point halfway through and then at the end, I will allow you guys to unmute yourselves and to be able to ask questions if needed, okay? So today we're going to discuss some of the pros and cons of Teams, some of the meeting options, the meeting controls, Teams channels, and then we're going to end off with settings and questions. Okay, so Teams over Zoom. Some of the pros and cons of Teams is that Teams is pretty much more secure than Zoom. There's about 250 participants to be added to a regular meeting. You have the ability for chat functions, sharing screens, whiteboards, and you have waiting rooms to be able to secure the meetings a little bit more. You also have the ability to delegate calls and share the screen of mobile devices. Some of the downfalls that you have is you don't have 50 cameras. You can only do 9, up to 4 right now. 9 will be available in the near future. You also don't have the ability to do one-on-one chats, which this is not available in Zoom as well. And if you remove participants from a meeting, they can rejoin. Okay. All right. So the two different kinds of meetings that you guys will see for Teams is a regular Teams meeting, which has the ability to include audio, video, screen sharing up to 250 participants. And these people do not need to be in the same organization or have a Teams account. That means anyone can join these meetings. The other kind of meeting that you guys can have is a live broadcast. This is like an extension of Teams meetings itself, but it doesn't allow people to be able to speak or show their video for the 10,000 live participants, but you do have the ability to collaborate with other presenters when you create this meeting, and it allows you to be able to show off multiple screens, whether it be from your computer or from other presenters' computers. Allows you to create a whole session and meeting. It's really great for training. I did it when we did our Teams meeting, our Zoom training last week. So it's a really cool feature to use. I'm going to show you guys a quick video on how to use that once we get a little bit further in. All right, so the next step is I'm going to show you guys some of the in-meeting controls, but before we get to that, I'm just going to show you guys how to actually create the meetings. So normally when you guys create a meeting, you would normally create it inside of Outlook. So I'm just going to pull up an Outlook request. So I'm just going to label it, name it. And my Gmail account to it. Sorry about that. Gotta add it to the Zoom meeting as well. All right. So what you're going to normally do is you would come in here and you just click Teams meeting. It's going to put the Teams meeting invite down here. So what you're going to do, this is a URL that everyone would click on. And then right here is where you would get meeting options. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on meeting options. Press control and then click on meeting options. It's going to take me to the screen here, which allows me to select the options for bypass the lobby and who can present. So I can select this to be anyone in my organization or everyone or just trusted users in organization. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it to everyone, and then for who can present, this can be set to just only me. But in this particular case, I'm going to set this to people in my organization, just so you guys can see the waiting room. And turn it off. Okay. Okay. And once that's done, you can close that window out. And after you sent out the meeting, you can always come back in here and click on meeting options again, and you can go back and edit these options again. You don't need to, you don't only have one chance to do this. You can do this as many as times you want before the actual meeting starts. Or if it's a reoccurring meeting, you can make these changes after your meeting has started or after your meeting has ended. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and send this off to my test account. So what I want you guys to be able to see is I want you guys to be able to see what it looks like when a guest user receives your email, as well as what it looks like when they join your meeting. So just let me connect it to the Zoom call itself so you guys can see my screen. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. And I want you guys to, second. Okay, all right, so this is my guest user account. Okay, so in my inbox, I have the email that was sent to me for the test meeting. All right, so once I click into the actual meeting, I'm gonna scroll down. I have my Teams link here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna click on this to join the meeting. Once I join the meeting, I'm gonna be brought to this screen here, which is gonna give me a few different options. The first option is to download the Windows app or to join via the web instead. So as you can see, this is a Gmail account I've sent it to. This is a computer that does not have Teams on it, and I'm going to join via the web. I'm just going to list this here. Let me turn off audio and video, and I'm going to join the meeting. Once I joined the meeting, as you see, I had waiting rooms enabled. So right now it tells me someone in the meeting should let you in soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to my screen. Okay. You minimize this. I'm going to go inside of Teams and start my meeting. So I'm going to go inside Teams, calendar. And as you can see here, oh, date, time. Okay. Okay, all right. So here's the meeting right here. I couldn't figure out what time and date and time I set it for. But a quick way to tell if, so for instance, this happened to me, is to be able to actually see that the meeting has started. It's highlighted purple. And you can see right here, there's a quick join button. So that's the difference between these meetings here and this meeting here and the other ones. As you can see, once I click join, it's going to take me directly into the meeting. Once I join the meeting right away, I have a message that shows me that a user is in the lobby waiting. I can admit them from here, or I can just click on participants so I can actually see the panel and see everyone that's waiting. So if there were multiple people in there, I can see them as well. What I can do here is I can just accept them into the meeting, or I can deny the participant entry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow them into the meeting. Okay. And now they're listed as a attendee. All right. Let me just make sure we cover all the meeting controls. Okay. So right now I have it set to where no one can present other than me. If I want an attendee to present, what I need to do is click on their names, click on the three dots over here for more options, and select the option to make them a presenter. Once I select the option to make them a presenter, I'll be prompted with this message here, and I just select the option that says change. Essentially what I'm doing now is giving them the option to be able to present their screen if need be. Okay, and if I want, I can also remove them as a presenter and make them an attendee again as well. And this will stop them from being able to share. And then if I kick them out of the meeting, I can then rejoin, and it puts me back into the meeting itself. So it doesn't give me the ability to stop them from rejoining the meeting. But if I have an issue with someone joining a meeting that was kicked out, then what I can do is I can easily just come in here and I can just easily just come in here and remove them, or just cancel the meeting, send out an email to cybersecurity, and start a meeting over again without that person included. Okay. Some of the other things you guys can do is blur background was available, but now they've actually upgraded it. So if you come in here before you actually share off your camera and you click on the three dots, there's an option that says show background effects. If you click on that, you'll have a lot of different options here. So if I want to look like this is my house. This is pretty cool. I can preview it and I can see myself, which is really cool. And that's my house behind me. Oh, it looks really nice. Or you can select some really cool things like this here. And you can apply that and turn it on. And turn off video. Now, if I turn off video, let's see if it shows it by default again. Yeah, so if that happens, I need to come back in here and I need to go back to show background effects. And I can select none and apply that. Or, which is really cool, I'm just going to stick to one of these. It's a really cool background. Oh, I want to look like I'm in a lab. There we go. It's a really cool background. So I'm going to leave my background like this, and then that way the next time I'm in a meeting, they're always going to look like this in the background. It's really works better if you have a lot more lighting so it doesn't look so dark around you. My house is kind of dark right now. Okay. So I'm going to stop that video. All right, so I just want to show you guys that real quick. The other thing you guys can do, which is enable note taking. So if you come in here to the actual meeting itself, you click on more actions, you have the option to be able to show meeting notes, and you can start taking notes. The good thing about the meeting notes is if you do a reoccurring meeting, these notes will build up with time. So if I'm doing a a team meeting with like all of my department on it, whenever we have a meeting, let's say 4/14, 2020, I'm gonna list my notes from today. And then when I'm ready, I can add a new section here. And these can be my notes from that particular week as well. So if you are using a reoccurring meeting, you can actually build up meeting notes from previous meetings. So this is really great usage for like department meetings for you guys to be able to manage those notes within the actual meeting itself. All right, sharing off screens. So close this part here. All right, so when you guys share off the screen, this is the same thing you'll see when you share off your screen in Zoom. One important thing that we ask you guys to do is to make sure that you select the option to include audio. So what happens is some people will start a meeting and try to share off things, but don't select the option for audio and then have issues with trying to hear sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to always check this off just in case. You never know what you'll switch to. And then these are the options you have here. So I have 4 different sections at the top. I have desktop here, which is screen 1 and screen 2. I have different windows here. And then I also have PowerPoint. So these are different PowerPoints, whether I have them open, they are recent documents that I've opened sometime recently. And then the whiteboard. If I click on whiteboard, okay, try that again. I can share off the whiteboard. And the whiteboard is pretty cool. So like when you guys are like in your actual department meetings and you need to use whiteboard to be able to jot things down or to collaborate with each other, you have the ability to be able to do that from here. Let's give it a second. Let's wait for it to come up. Another thing too about whiteboard is if you're recording a session, it doesn't record whiteboard, and it doesn't also, essentially, it doesn't record whiteboard. So what you will have to do is you have to screenshot anything that you do on whiteboard. Let me see if I stop sharing it. All right, let me see if I can try that again. Okay, it came up a lot quicker that time. Okay, so this is the whiteboard. So if I want, I can draw over here. I always use this as my example. Pretty cool. I teach my son this all the time. Uh, but yeah, you can do really cool things with whiteboard. You can jot things down. You can make things. It's a lot easier if you use the pen that's provided for the Surface Book, the stylus pen. And if you're in like touchscreen mode, it's a lot easier. But you do have the ability to mark things off. Say like that's a bad idea. Or that's a great idea. So you can do different things like that again, like I said, and the only thing is you cannot actually, you can't record these things, but you can actually just take screenshots of them. So if you guys using this, screenshot them, and then you can provide that data off to whomever you want to. Or if it's just for your meeting, no need to even do so. All right. And then again, just going back to share, just making sure that I remind you guys again that if you show anything with audio that you select this off and you select the option of what you want. And these are your 4 different sections here at the top. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop my share. Stop presenting. Okay. Okay, so participants, just to show you guys one more time, if you guys want to unmute participants right now, I have it set to where this one is mute. What if I unmute them? Okay, so if I unmute them, sorry, I can't do it because it's going to be a little bit of feedback. But essentially, if I unmute them, what's going to happen is I will have the option to be able to, if they were unmuted, I will have the option here to mute them if I want to. Right now, it's grayed out. Okay, and I can also remove the participant. And again, as I showed you guys earlier, if I remove them and they're listed as an attendee, they can still rejoin the meeting without it being an issue. Okay. If someone does rejoin your meeting, they're not supposed to be there, just cancel the meeting, send out a new request, and report that to IT. Okay, I'm recording the meeting. So if you guys want, you can record the meeting. To be able to do so, what you would do is you just click here and you start recording. Once you start recording and the meeting has ended, it will then provide those under your chat. So if you click on chats, and as you can see here, I have a couple of meetings that I've already done. So here, oh, here's the option for my notes. So I can see the notes. These are the notes from that meeting. And let me go up here. And here's a recording from a previous meeting that I've done already. So once the recording is ready, you'll receive a message saying the recording is ready. And then you can then click on it and you can actually view it. It's time stamped. So it's time stamped and it shows what it's for. And I can also go here and I can just share off that link however I choose. Okay. Or download it and provide it to whomever I want to. Let's go back. Let's see where we're at. Okay. All right. So it's pretty much with the in-meeting controls. The next thing I wanted to show you guys was the live broadcast. So the live broadcast, I'm going to show you real quick on how to actually create that meeting in Teams. But once I show you that part, I'm going to flip to this video where you guys can see a little bit more about the live broadcast and how it actually works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this meeting here. Okay. And I'm going to go to calendar. So just to kind of review that just one more time, when you guys actually do a new meeting, you can do it from not only from your calendar requests by going here and actually doing a Teams meeting. You can also come here and click new meeting. When you come here and click new meeting, you can add the title into it, set date and time. You can add anyone to this. I'm going to add my personal account just because I want to emphasize as much as possible that you can actually email this to a personal account if you choose to. Okay. All right. All right. You can also add a channel if you want. Ignore. And once I come here, and I can go ahead and schedule the meeting. The reason why I want to show you guys this is because once you guys schedule a meeting here as well, you can come back into the meeting, and that's when you'll have the meeting options here by clicking on meeting options, or you can click on meeting options from here. And essentially this will take you to the screen here where you can select who bypass the lobby and who can present. Okay. Right. And this can be edited as much as you want. In a previous request, I had also been asked before, like how to change the time zone. If you click here on the time zone, you can select whatever time zone you choose. Okay. And here's some other things too, like meeting notes, if you wanted to add those in beforehand, and whiteboard, and scheduling assistant. Okay. And this is where you can add optional attendees and required attendees. And you can edit your meeting however you choose. Details. Okay. All right. So once you've done that, then you can schedule a meeting. I'm just going to cancel this one out. All right, because I want to show you guys how to schedule a live broadcast. All right, so that's how you guys can schedule a meeting from the Teams application itself, which can also be done from your Outlook calendar. But if you want, you can do a live broadcast. You can come here and click on live events. So when you click on new meeting, just click on the arrow, live event. And we're going to name this test 2020. You can also select the conference room. So whatever one you want to choose, you select that, put your date and time, all your information in here. You can invite presenters. Presenters will be people who will also be presenting with you. So if I'm co-presenting a training session, I may want to have all those people already listed as presenters, because they'll see a different view when they actually create this event, and I'll show you what they'll see next. Okay. Okay, and then down here, once I click next, these are the other options I have. So you can do Pacific people in groups. You can do organization-wide, which require them to be able to sign into their account, or you can make it public, which doesn't require any sign-in at all. And this is really great for when you're doing any public training or large training events. The really cool thing about the way this live event works is that you guys can like rewind the events. It's really cool. But I'll show you guys a little bit more of that. Okay, the other thing I want to show you is down here when you guys actually produce the event, make sure you select off the option for Q&A. So I actually produced the event the other day for Zoom training, and when I did it, I forgot to select off the option for Q&A. And then once the event started, I wasn't able to go back and turn on Q&A. This has to be something that's done when you actually create the meeting. So just select the option for Q&A if you want that available, and then you just schedule the meeting. Once you schedule the meeting, you'll be brought to the screen here where you'll be provided with a link, or you can join the meeting from here. And this is what it'll look like when you actually click on it. So if I go into my Test 2020 live broadcast, this is what it looks like. Again, once I get the link, I copy it to a clipboard, and I would then be required to actually open up a calendar request. I can do a calendar request, or I can do an email, whatever I choose, because the only thing you're going to get is a link. You will modify and produce the message as you choose. So then you would just go ahead and send that off, and whoever has this link can either join the meeting when it starts, or they can join the meeting hours and hours and hours later, and they can still see the meeting. It won't be in live time, but it'll be pre-recorded. So it's pretty cool how that works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to a really quick video that's going to talk to you guys about Teams meetings. So I'm just going to switch to this, and essentially where they're going to start off is what the presenter sees. So you have the organizer of the meeting itself, and then you have the presenters. In my case, I made Raphael my presenter. So in other words, this is what he'll see after I actually schedule the meeting and I send off that invitation. This is where this video is going to pick up at. So I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic so you guys can view the video. And if you have any questions, go ahead and submit those questions while this video actually plays. Thanks. Sorry, one more second. Let me just test to make sure that I'm sharing off the screen with audio. 1 second, you guys. All right, so we're good. Okay.
And are ready to present. Now I've switched views to one of my presenters. So this is Alex's mailbox. In the run up to the meeting, when you invite a presenter, that presenter is going to receive an email that looks like this. So my live event's called Company Meeting, and it's describing where it is and when it's going to be. And I just have to say yes to the invitation, which completes the invite. Now, when I go to Teams now, I'll see my meeting here, and I can open it up. You can see that I've accepted it there. So as a presenter, I want to now join that meeting in Teams. So now I've joined the meeting. Now I've switched back to Matt's view, which is the producer view, and I'm going to join the meeting too. Now you can see I've got myself, the producer, and I've got Alex there as the presenter. Now you can see above here I've got these two feeds. I've got the queue and then the live feed. So the queue is for adding content like Alex's presentation to the queue, and then the live event is what the audience actually sees. So you'll notice over here we've got two types of queue. So we can split the queue into two so we can see what's ready to be streamed. So now I've brought in my second presenter, Megan. You can see there in my presenters list. And I've also shared her desktop from her Teams app. And now I can see that as something I can add to my queue. Now, one thing to point out here is that if you're a presenter, you must use the Teams app. It could be on a Mac or a Windows computer, but you can't use the browser or the mobile app. You have to use the full-fat Teams app. Now I've switched to the audience view. So when they try to join, they'll see this live event hasn't started message. And until the producer has started the stream, that's what they're going to see. So now let's switch back to the producer and we'll start the live event up. So back on the producer's view, you can see Megan's content is down here and it's something I can select. And all I need to do is just double click it, which will place it in the queue. Now you can see at the top here, the company meeting's been running for a while. It's got one attendee, but we're in pre-live. That means we're not streaming anything to the audience. As soon as I hit the send live button, what's in the queue is going to appear in the live event. Now don't worry about the fact that it doesn't fit. That's just because of the size of my screen. The audience will see the whole slide deck. Now, once we've got the queue in the live event window, we can then press start here. And it will say, do you want to start the live event, just to confirm it? And I press continue. And now that's streaming to the audience. You can see we've got an end button now, so we can stop the stream at any time. And up here, we can see that it's live and we're recording as well. So now let's switch to what the audience will see. So now I've switched back to the browser of one of the audience members, and you can see that they're now seeing the whole slide deck. And as Megan moves through the deck, you can see the updates on the live feed. And there's a little bit of a delay as well. So that's how you set up your live event, invite your presenters to the event, and start streaming video for your audience to see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.